Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jason, and we're going to build a Panzer fight stick today. So just give me a couple seconds while I finish getting a few things set up here, and we'll go ahead and turn the cameras on and get started. Just let me know how the audio versus music sounds so that I can adjust as appropriate. Ah, good. That's good to know. All right, let's go ahead and get. Let's see if I've got this all right. All right, good. All right, let's see. No, we don't want that. We want that one. All right, cool. What's up, everybody? It's Jason, and today, as I mess with my phones here, we're going to build out this Panzer fight stick. If you guys follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff, and you saw that I built out a fight stick earlier today. It was black, had green buttons, featured the Brick Retro board, as well as the Universal Fight board. And we're going to do the same thing, basically, but with a white case and blue buttons. About 10 minutes after I posted that up, we got an order come through, so figured I had some time tonight. While I wait, let's just get it knocked out. Okay, so yep, you can see we're building this in a Panzer Fight Stick 3i. This is a white case, so don't mind some of the schmutz here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the bottom pad on he ordered. Alright, I like to put this on first, just so I can set the bottom off to the side while I work and just let the pressure-sensitive adhesive really take hold. Cool. And we leave access to the holes here, so if you want to put the rubber feet on later, you can. Alright, we'll need that later. This too. Yeah, I agree. It did look a little bit like Monster's branding. It also kind of reminds me of the Saturn sticks that came out. They were gray though, not black, but they had the green buttons. They got called the Green Goblin. They were pretty sweet. Let's just do this. Let's do that so you guys have a better view of everything that's going on here. I really want you to buy one of my sticks too. I'd love for everyone to have one. I really need to charge my electric screwdriver. This is for the birds. Bottom off, set this off to the side. All right, cool. So this is the little belt loop connector for my headset, but I'm too tall. It won't clip on my belt loop without getting kind of jacked up. No, I'm not going to carry gamer finger buttons. I prefer the Sam Duxa buttons. And unfortunately, I reached out to Gamer Finger a long time ago and asked if I could sell their buttons, and they just simply never emailed me back. So, no Gamer Finger buttons. So this is going to be a retro and universal build, and the customer has asked me to put light blue Sanwa parts in it. So we're going to do that. And it's going to have just a straight JLF, light blue Sanwa OBSF buttons. So a pretty common Japanese build. Okay, so AT Games cabinet. I'd have to look and see what kind of buttons it has in it to begin with. But if it's got a wooden control panel, it most likely has some sort of like HAP or IL buttons. And I would say that if you want to upgrade the buttons, then I would go with some ILs. Those seem to be the most popular right now for American style stuff. And then the same for the actual lever portion itself. I'd have to look at what kind of parts AtGames uses, but most likely, if it's got a big old thick wooden control panel, it's going to be some sort of HAP or IL. And yeah, I think you could probably go to like ParadiseArcadeShop.com to pick up those buttons. And then if it has a metal control panel and it's using Japanese style parts, then I would go with some Sanwa or some Sanduxa, and then I would buy them from me. But I'd have to look into it more because I'm not familiar with those little cabinets. Alright, now we're going to put the secret sauce. Alright, first things first, install the Brook Retro board. This is going to give you, let's see, what's this going to do? PS1, PS2, PS3, Dreamcast, Saturn, Xbox, the original Xbox, PC, GameCube, NES, Super NES. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, good. Got that in. Now, we're going to take the second bit of secret sauce here with our universal fight board. And this is going to let you use this stick on, let's see, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC, Switch, Android. Yeah, I think that's about it. Alright, and now what we just did is we stacked this on top of the Universal Fight Board, or excuse me, we stacked the Universal Fight Board on top of the Retro Board, and we passed all of these signals through this 20-pin connector down to the Retro Board, as well as the USB, which has an alternate connection right here, down to the Retro Fight Board. And now what that does is lets this bottom board control the output of both boards. Now the Retro Board will work by itself, but this will just add on all the functionalities associated with the Universal Fight Board with the Retro Board. So now, when the customer gets the stick, it's going to work on 15, that's 15 different platforms, which is going to be awesome. So, yeah, he should be pretty excited about that. Because I have one, and I'm pretty excited about it. Alright, now all we're doing is mating the two together just to hold them in place with the screws. Nothing exciting here. Alright, let's set this off over to the side. And let's start looking at some wiring. Alright, we got our two switches here. lock switch and a lever selector switch. This is a USB cable that's included in all our cable packs, but we don't need that because we're going to use an RJ45 connection here. So that's going to be this guy here. Just like this. Boom. Something like that. Easy enough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and connect up our lock switch wire here. Okay, just line up the key mark there with the key cut out on the case and click it in place like so. Now this wire here is our mode selector switch. You'll see you got 3 color wires here. Black's always going to go in the middle. Just like that. Make sure all that's nice and snug. Same thing here, just line it up with a key and push it in place. Good. Alright, now I'm going to grab these wires here. We're going to set ourselves up for the next bit, which is inserting the buttons in the front like this. Okay, just push those through. And then we're going to grab this same one here, this little guy here, and do the same thing. Alright, now let's grab some buttons. Alright, 6 24mm OBSF light blues. Coming right up. Alright, and then we'll just connect these up and then snap them in place. Pull them in and snap them in. Just like that. Perfect. Do the same thing over on this side. Pull these in place just like the other ones. Okay. Voila, just like that. Front's good to go. All right. Next, what we can do, make the wiring a little bit easier. Use our easy build board. I love that I came up with this because it makes builds so much cleaner and faster and easier and nicer. Just awesome. Alright, so go ahead and line that up with the posts like so. And grab some of these little 440 screws to hold it in place. Okay, yeah, so if you have the thicker wood kind, then you want to get IL, Industrio Lorenzus. They're made out of Spain, and if you're looking to source them in the United States, I'd go ParadiseArcadeShop.com. Alright, cool. Now we got that done. Let's go ahead and I'm going to shift this little switch over here. This little thing is pretty interesting. There's a little switch down here. It's the kill ground switch or ground switch, and it basically lets you tie the function of this, your mode selector switch, to whether it's on the lock switch or not. So I'm going to actually shift that to ground so it's always active. And if you lock out the front to disable these, it won't lock that out. Okay. Just go ahead and tuck these wires down in like that just to make them look a little neater. Hide them out of the way. We're going to take this wire, run it up under here like so. And into this connector like that. Easy day. And the same with this one. Cool. Now let's see if we got some zip ties. Got some giant zip ties here. Let's see if I got some smaller ones. Alright, looks like I have a couple, so that's good. And I need my dikes, or my flush cutters, however you want to say them. Where did I put them? Here we go, flush cutters. Perfect. Alright, let's take these, get those out of the way since we're not going to use them. And let's just go ahead and neatly zip tie these up so we have a nice trunk of wires instead of a crazy mess. Down like that. Okay. Alright, now we can tuck that down like this. And we have a pretty neat trunk of wires here. I think we'll probably put another zip tie or two on them though. Get closer here. Alright, good. Tuck these wires out the way. There we go. Nice. And then we'll just plug in the lock switch like so. Voila. Boom. Easy. We're almost done. Okay. Now we can go ahead and finish connecting up the wires here between the boards and the easy build. Can't do that with a 20-pin generic harness. Alright. Plug that in like so. We're going to plug this into the universal board because this one is most likely going to be the one that you want that on. Suppose I'm going to have to make some little double-ended ones in the future. Okay, connect up our touchpad, our L3 and R3 switches like so. Voila, just like that. And we're practically wired up now. The only thing we got to do is put the joystick in, the joystick wire, and the buttons, and then I guess that's technically the end of it. But now what we're going to have to do is we're going to flip it over to put the plexi on so that we can put the buttons in and finish this thing up. Let's give it a quick wipe down. Hey Sasha, how are you? I'm glad you could join us tonight. Tonight for me, I guess. Morning for you. Probably very early in the morning, as a matter of fact. 6 a.m. on the East Coast, 3 a.m. on the West Coast. Good Lord. Alright, so now let's grab our plexi. Got that right here. Now clearly we need to peel the brown off, so let's set the case over here. Let's go ahead and, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel the back off first and put it down in place. And try and not touch it with my hands so we don't get any schmutz all over it. And all you do is just grab the corner here with a fingernail. Get it lifted, being very careful. Alright, I need to change this music. It is playing the same thing over and over and over again. It's driving me crazy. Let's see. Let's try the synthwave channel. Let's see what happens. Oh, Frosty in Illinois, good. How is it so far? I think Miss DT Flip is there, and she has one of my Panzer hitboxes. Alright, there we go. Cool. So we're going to peel this off, and you see here I'm just grabbing the edge of the plexi while I peel it. And I'm only holding the paper with this, my right hand, which you can't see because it's off frame. Alright, there we go. And you just gotta work it slow, peel it off slow. And it should come off in one piece. It's such a pain. But you don't want it to get scratched in shipping or during cutting, so they put a pretty legit paper backing on this. Oops. We're getting there. We're close. And you can see I left some stay behind, so I'm gonna have to get that off. Which, fortunately, this one should be pretty easy. Nope. It was not. Awesome. Alright, there we go. I got just this little thing here. You see I'm being very careful not to get my fingers on the plexi. Alright, cool. Good. I just one little quick pass by the cloth, make sure there's no hair or anything stuck between the two. Set that down in place like that. Voila, we're good to go. Let's grab our screws to hold it down. Second, very nice, very nice. Oh, yeah, nice. Under Night, sweet. I think Koremon is there playing Under Night. She actually has a custom hitbox I built for her. If you see her, go check it out. And say hi, pass my regards. Just don't be creepy or weird about it. Alright, so we got that in. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these mostly down. I'm not putting them all the way down because I need to peel the plexi still. So you get them mostly down so it holds it in place and you don't have some screws hanging out too far that you have to worry about. Like that. Then, that's awesome. I'm glad to know that there's a lot of hitboxes, and especially, excuse me, a lot of Panzer hitboxes there. It seems like 2019 was a huge year for hitboxes. So, I mean, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head exact numbers, but I probably would say I sold almost 1.75 to 1 hitbox to traditional. So, so now we got our 8 buttons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wiring on these first, peel the plexi, pop them into place. Alright, so these are just kind of easy like the other ones, just push and hold, voila, like that. I always tell people when they watch these build videos or these streams, I'm like, hey, these take a long time when I do it, just because on stream, because I'm always trying to talk and answer questions and stuff like that, and I get distracted real easy. I guarantee you it will not take you that long to build this when you get yours. Just a couple more to go. Alright. And last one. Yeah, I agree. These things don't take that long at all to assemble. I think when I was in California at my last shop, as long as I had everything ready to go, I could knock probably 3 or 4 of these out in an hour, no problems. Now, I've kind of got stuff all over the place, and I'm crammed into my small Japanese home, so it makes it a little bit harder. And that's mostly because I get like just kind of overwhelmed a little bit sometimes based with all the stuff everywhere. Alright, so now what we're going to do is kind of the same idea as before. So we're going to go up in the corner here, grab an edge, being careful. Alright, now that we got the first corner peeled, what we do is I use my fingers here like this and line up the holes, and then come back, and then I tighten the screw down, and I do that along the whole way. Alright. Now, the top isn't as critical that you don't touch it, because you can clean it, but you still don't want to, while you're building it, you still don't want to get a bunch of fingerprints all over it around the buttons, because it gets harder to clean it once the buttons are installed. It's just not a lot of room there. Oh gosh, this is a nightmare. It's all peeling. Not how I want it to. Ugh. This is one of the worst peels I've ever done. Screw it. This is definitely not one of those satisfying unboxing peels. Bubbles, hello, welcome to the chat, and welcome to the stream. Normal hour for you, 8:19 in the evening, same as me. I don't know where in Japan you're located, I don't remember, but I know here in Yokosuka it's been gross and rainy all day, and we actually had some snow in some small parts of our town here. Alright, so I gotta pull this screw out and pull the, I left a little, there we go. Just a little wrapping still. on. I did not have this hard of a time when I built the black stick earlier today. Yikes. There we go. Jesus. There we go, good. Good. Alright, now let's flip this up like this. Let's go ahead and wire in the buttons. All we're doing is feeding them in first, get that all done, and then we'll just use the quick connects to connect all the buttons up. Okay, and then okay, to answer a couple questions, this is a custom keyboard mat I had made that I just designed in Illustrator, threw my logo on, and these are just 1" by 1" squares, and these are 45, 180, 45, or 45, 0, minus 45, 90, all the way around. And then these are just circles to help my camera up here have a target to focus in on. Have I started selling the retro board and the universal board and connector attachment? Yeah, I have. I've actually always sold them as a bundle. You can pick those up right on my website. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these plugged in. And we're just plugging these two little JST guys in. No problems. Let me see what I'm doing here. Now that is done. That's what it looks like so far. Looks pretty good, I think. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we need to actually install the joystick. So let's grab that. Alright, so here we are. He wants just a plain standard Sanwa JLF. Hey Dalton, yeah, I am still in Japan. That's right. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Now, we are going to use just a standard shaft cover and dust washer set here, but I will remind everybody I do have aluminum shafts that are basically, what I did is I took the shaft here and then I just threw a shaft cover on it like that, and then I used this dimension to make my shaft, so it always feels like it's got a meteor, like it's got the shaft cover installed. So those are pretty sweet. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip this upside down. I'm going to roll my table over. And this is just actually a tool cart. And then this comes off the edge here, like that. But I'm not quite ready for that yet. Because what I'll do is I'll lay this down so it sits through so I can screw it in place. I used to have a workbench that I had a hole drilled in so I could plug this down into. And then the whole thing was still supported. It was pretty nice. But unfortunately I don't have that here. So anyways, what I'm gonna do now, here, I guess I'll scoot this back over so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got these screws, and I got 4 of them. Got kind of a mess of screws going on over here though. Alright, so I've done that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my number 6 lock washers and I'm gonna put those on all 4 screws first, like so. Then I'll put the flat washers on after that. Here we go, one more for this guy. And voila. Perfect. So we got that done. Now what I'm gonna do is now I'll slide this all over. And I'll put this here like this. So this, most of the weight is still on the cart, or the table, so that's good. And then I put the chaff or the dishwasher on first. Just stick this down in its place like that. Line it up with the JLF mounting points like so. And then grab my first screw combo thing that I made. Make sure that I hold it so that all that work I did putting the hardware in place doesn't fall off. And we're just getting it a little tight. Yeah, so the move Japan has opened up the Japanese market a lot because shipping within the country is actually very cheap, and I can get stuff to most people within 1 day for you know, very low cost. I'm talking like $8 to $12 usually, from just outside of Tokyo to pretty much anywhere. There is a bit of a language barrier, which can be a pain, but Google Translate works really, really well on the web page, so that's good. Alright, so what I'm doing now is, now that I had them all in, I'm going through and I'm tightening the screws down, and you see that I'm doing it in a crisscross pattern. And you don't want to go so hard that you pop the hardware out, so that's good. And then put it more on the table again. And each of the kits come with two wires. This wire, you'll notice, has no white cable, and this one does. This one with the white cable is actually for like powered optical PCBs, like the Silent Hayabusa. Alright, and then I'm just going to route this underneath here like this, and then we're going to plug it in like this, and voila, got that done. Let's flip it back over, throw our second dust washer on, grab our shaft cover and throw that on, and then thread the ball top on. Okay, and then we'll just flip it over, or on its side rather, and grab the ball top with one hand and a flathead screwdriver with the other. Put it in like that, and just twist until it's tight. Perfect. And now we have a fully built stick ready to go. Candy cabs are cheaper than in the US, but I wouldn't say they're cheap. You're still limited with Yahoo auctions. There's still a high demand here, and unfortunately I don't have any room because I have my car in my garage, so I can't just throw them all in my garage. But I think that before I move, I'm going to try and score a few, because I can live a couple weeks with candy cabs just kind of strewn about, but any more than that, not so much. So, alright, perfect. Look at that. And, oops, there you go. So, came out pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. And, yeah, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to capture the successes of the Panzer fight stick, but, you know, that easy build system, it's just, there's nothing like it. So, there you go. Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna have to call that a night, because what I have to do is I'm gonna actually have to jump on the computer, and here, I'll actually switch this guy over so you guys can See me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump over on the computer now and update the retro board, because there was an update that just came out that fixed some Wii U, GameCube functionality, and then it also fixed a weird issue in Super Nintendo and Nintendo where if you hold the button down, it would like unlatch after like 20 some odd seconds or something. And actually, Noble Tofu, who's a speedrunner for Super Nintendo games, he's the one who actually let me know about it and told me what happened, and I let Brooke know, and within a day they fixed it, so that's huge. Yeah, I think we'll call this build done, and I'll get it updated, buttoned up, packed up, and shipped out. I'll definitely take some pictures, throw it on my Instagram, on my Facebook, my Twitter, all that stuff where you guys follow me, so definitely check that out. And until next time, I'm Jason. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.